Good Friday morning. I'm Matt Carothers, and welcome to another installment of everyone's favorite 30-minute horse racing program. That's right, it's time for our kickoff, our debut 2012 of Blinkers Off. It is great to be back. I just want to warn you here up front, this show is, as I mentioned, 30 minutes in length, and I am so amped up and excited to be back from my 53-day vacation that at some point, you at home, get ready for me. I might jump to the TV set in your living room. So if you're drinking some hot coffee, make sure you drink it, put it far away from you, because I will be in your living room at some point over the next 30 minutes. And what a show we have for you to begin 2012 here on Blinkers Off. It's going to be a little bit of a different show. I'm excited about it. We're going to talk about Bill O'Reilly during the show. We're going to talk about my dear friend John McCrearick during the show. We are going to talk a little tweeting. We are going to talk about the Eclipse Awards. We are going to talk about some handicapping as well, our spotlight race being the Count Fleet at AQUEDUCT, and we are going to do so. I am very proud to introduce right now from his mother's house in Florida via Skype, Mr. Inside Racing, the purveyor of the Paulick Report. Bill O'Reilly says that all the time when he introduces Dick Morris. He's Ray Paulick. Ray, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. How are you? I just wanted to say that I'm at my mother's house, but I'm not in her basement. So, contrary to all the rumors about bloggers, we don't all live in our mother's basement. I'm just down visiting.
Okay, so you're just visiting. How is Mom doing? Is she doing all right?
She's doing great. She's doing great.
Okay, and, I went to your site last night. I'll just say right away, I have to take issue with you were promoting you're going to be on Blinkers Off there. You had a picture of me. It wasn't the greatest of photos of me. It was a picture from about 7 years ago. I was about 20 pounds heavier. I'm taking issue with the photo that you have of me up on your site.
I think you got to deal with that at your home office there and tell the folks at TVG to get a new photo.
Okay, many of our audience, they know who you are. But for those people that are watching right now that I have no idea who the hell Ray Paulick is, who are you? Describe your site. What is your site like? How do you get to your site? How long have you had this site? Explain.
Well, I've been in the racing game since the mid-'70s. I used to work for Jimmy the Greek when he was a syndicated columnist. I worked for the Racing Forum out in Los Angeles for 8 years, came to Kentucky 20-some years ago, was editor of the Blood Horse magazine for 15 years ago, and in 2008 created the Paulick Report, which is, some people describe it as a tabloid site. It covers the news in the breeding and racing industry around the world.
Do you know who's like dating who, that kind of thing? Do you hire paparazzi? Do you kind of surreptitiously follow people in your car? Do you hide in bushes? Do you do that all?
I don't hide in bushes anymore. No. I used to, but mostly it was to hide from people, not to. But we don't have the paparazzi. I saw that Chantel Sutherland got engaged the other day. Now we haven't had a story about that yet, so that's something that
that's
I'm a little
news to me.
After. Yeah, it's bad news for a lot of people.
So you update your site every day?
Oh, we update the site. We never sleep. You had 53 days off. If we get 53 minutes off, it's lucky.
Okay, all right. Well, it's enjoyable. I go there as often as I possibly can. And there's some interesting stories that we're going to talk about that you've had on your site. We're going to go through a couple of them right now. I've sort of, I consider him a friend. I've known John McCrearick for years now. Every time it's Breeders' Cup, I always do a couple of shows with John McCrearick. And he is known for being a little flamboyant. Is that fair? He's a great personality, but apparently he's trying to change his image. Here's John McCrearick, and the John McCrearick, affectionately referred to as mutton chops. We've all gotten to love a lot of jewelry and some great jackets and the sideburns and something that he's been. He's had this look for years and years and years. But I guess an organization called Racing for Change, is that what they're called? Ray?
Well, God help him. I mean, anybody that can change John McCrearick, I'm for.
So that was the before. That's the John McCrearick we've known for years. But apparently now he's wearing, full-length suits. He's cleaned up. He's cut his hair. Look at John McCrearick now, and he looks great. He looks dapper. But I don't know. To me, racing is about characters. And John McCrearick was one of the great characters in racing. They're sort of taking that away from him a little bit with this new image, don't you think?
I have a feeling John's going to be cleaned up like this about as long as Charles Barkley is losing weight.
Wow!
So
you don't think?
I'll take the unders. I'll take the unders on this.
Well, I'm sure Weight Watchers is paying Charles a little bit of money to keep that weight off. So I think he has a little bit of more incentive maybe than Mr. McCrarick. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. He looks like, Abe Lincoln / Amish a little bit. I just don't know if it works for me.
He does have a little bit of an Amish look. Yeah. And
not anything wrong with the Amish look, but he's kind of has it a little bit.
Yeah. Thank God he's still got the booby though behind him as his wife. So
right.
without the booby, John is just nothing. So we're very pleased that hasn't changed.
The two things you try to avoid in TV are religion and politics. So again, I'm not going to talk about whether I like the show or dislike the show. Fact of the matter is, it's an extremely popular and well-viewed show. Talking about the O'Reilly show on Fox News, The Factor, and the horse The Factor, who won the Malibu for Bob Baffert opening day, 26th of December, named after the program. And apparently, Bill O'Reilly has been updating his viewers on how the Factor's been doing. And obviously, after a huge win in the Malibu, he was so excited about the victory that he was pushing for the Factor, who's now 4, to run in the Kentucky Derby. So you were having a little bit of fun with this story on your side as well.
Yeah, Bill has been on the Factor, the horse, the Factor, for a while now. And like a lot of people, he just thinks if you miss one Derby, you just come back the next year and you try to win it then. And
he's not alone in that, is he? A lot of people probably have no idea that the Kentucky Derby is exclusively for 3-year-olds.
That's actually a fairly common mistake that neophytes and people who aren't into racing make. So.
And in his defense, the horse did win the Malibu at 3. And we talk about people don't know that it's just for 3-year-olds, the Derby. How many people know that you turn 4 on January 1st? And he probably has no idea that the horse had his birthday on January 1st. So when he wins the Malibu, he is a 3-year-old.
Yeah, well, again, I think Bill's got bigger fish to fry out there. Now, maybe, the thing about Bill is he's good friends with Dennis Miller, who's on the show all the time. Dennis Miller rents his house in Santa Barbara to Barry Schwartz, the former chairman of NYRA. So maybe Barry can talk to Dennis to talk to Bill to kind of straighten him out.
Oh, so this is good stuff. So you know that Dennis Miller, who is friends with Bill O'Reilly and comes on, I think, once a week, Miller time, rents the home of whom? Mr. Schwartz? I
think he rents it to Barry and Cheryl.
Barry Schwartz.
Yeah, and so they're good friends. The Schwartzes are good friends with Dennis. So maybe, I'm imploring Barry Schwartz to call up Dennis and straighten Bill out. Okay, so this is some of the juicy stuff that I was looking for from you. What's going on over in England with one of the, I guess he's as big a racing commentator as they have over there, accidentally sending out the wrong tweet. What was this about? What's this story about? Well, there's a Twitter feed called Plumpton Race Day, and I guess the guy is so popular he has a staff sending out tweets for him. Really? And, yes.
He's that big time.
Yeah, that's when you're really big, is when you have a tweet staff. And one of his staff apparently was having a private conversation with allegedly his wife, but the jury is still out on that, and sent a message to her that said, "I can't wait to get to your hot body, babe." And instead of going just to her, it went to all the people that get his tweet. Oh, and here it is right here from Simon Holt. Here's his responding to the accidental tweet that went out. The previous message was sent in error. Please ignore. At least he had some fun with it. Funny line, unless you're Cameron Diaz or my wife. So I like the response that he gave, the tweet that he gave out after realizing the mistake. Yeah, well, I just like the fact the guy's got his own tweet staff. I mean, it was a good response. Did he come up with that response, or was it one of his staff? We'll have to wait and see. I love the fact there's some people out there that think that I just come up here and I have my selections, and like the research staff tells me these are the horses that I should go with, explain to me why I should like these horses, and then here are my picks. And if that was the case, the whole research department should have been fired years ago. Yeah. I mean, because they're not really helping me out that well. Especially I have seen ROI, so yeah. Especially on this program where I struggled in 2011. We're going to move on, but I noticed also you got a few comments about coming on this show from some folks as well. Yeah, I had some. I was pleasantly surprised. Some people said to every opportunity I have, whenever there's a pause in the action, to get a word or two in edgewise. That was the best. Yeah. You're doing well. I think you're holding your own. Clips Awards. The winners will be announced, January 16th. The finalists came out yesterday, January 5th.
And again, it was, we didn't have the superstars this year like we've had in recent years, and a lot of categories that are very, very difficult. Some evenly matched horses in these categories. I know 3-year-old male is one that you're sort of interested in because you think that it's very close between the 3 finalists. Animal Kingdom, obviously your winner of the Derby, Shackelford, and Caleb's Posse. Shackelford didn't win a race after the Preakness.
Yeah, I don't think Shackelford has a chance really in here. He, as we used to say at the Racing Forum, helps fill the field. He's the 3rd horse in the 3-horse field. But a lot of people like Caleb's Posse because of his late season successes and Breeders' Cup win in the mile. I went with Animal Kingdom, and I think he'll.
I don't know. I can understand that. I mean, his win in the Derby was huge, but I guess they're still thinking. I think he has a prep race at Gulfstream, I think sometime at February 12th, I believe, and they're still looking at the Dubai World Cup for Animal Kingdom. But, you don't run in a race, Ray, the final 7 months of the year. And this is for 3-year-old of the year, not for a 3-year-old first third of the year. Caleb's Posse, his win in the Breeders' Cup, I think it was as good as any performance we saw either day. He did beat Uncle Mo, at Uncle Mo's racetrack, Saratoga, and did it at an Uncle Mo type distance, even though it was a layoff situation for Uncle Mo. I would go Caleb's Posse, and I think he's probably going to win.
Now, the broadcasters get to vote this year. I don't know if you're a member of the club that gets to vote or not. That's a new thing this year in the Eclipse Awards, is the broadcasters for the first time do get to vote.
Yeah, I was talking to Rich Perloff about this, and I don't know. It seems like for me to be able to vote, there's committees. I have to get recommendations. I have to have a certain GPA. I have to write. It seems like I'm going to college again. So
it's a lot easier than getting into the jockey club, So you're in much better company with us, anyways.
I don't know. I didn't vote because I was thinking I need 2 people to recommend me, and I could maybe think of one, that being my dad. So would you, Ray? Would you write a letter?
Absolutely.
On my behalf? Okay,
I would absolutely do it for you.
I'll keep that in mind for next year. Female sprinter, you had Musical Romance who pulled the upset in winning the filly and mare sprint, but she had a good campaign really going into that race. You have Hilda's Passion, who I think I've written down somewhere that the 2 highest buyers of any female sprinter both belong to her. And then, who else is on the list here? Sassy's Image. Right. At least she won 2 grade 1s, whereas Musical Romance and Hilda's Passion had 1 and 1 respectively.
Yeah, this one gave me a headache. I just went around and around and around and ended up with Hilda's Passion, not because of the buyer number. If we're going to go to the highest buyer number, let's just have it done that way.
No, it was just information I just threw out there.
No, it's a good division, and Sassy's Image was a tremendous late running sprinter
who lost to Hilda's Passion in the Ballerina.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that was finally the reason that I went with Hilda's Passion there.
Okay,
but that was a tough division.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion. I don't have a strong opinion on many of these.
What about Horse of the Year?
I hate to say, do you care, Ray Paulick, who's Horse of the Year? Is it going to bother you if a name comes up that you don't think? I don't know. I think there's a lack of passion, sort of, in the Eclipse Awards this year.
I don't think there's a wrong answer for Horse of the Year if it's in the top 3 or 4. But I don't think it's like the last few years where there was real passion. It was Zenyatta camp, the Blame camp, the Rachel Alexandra camp, the Curlin camp, whatever. This is a completely different kind of year.
Okay, we're looking at some of the finalists for humans, but before we move on, you were telling me before the start of the show, as we were conversing and chatting for about 3 or 4 minutes, that the finalists came out yesterday, but not Horse of the Year. Is that what you're telling me? What's the reason behind this?
They didn't put out the finalists for Horse of the Year because they didn't want to spoil maybe who some of the divisional winners were. We obviously know Ava de Grace is going to be a finalist, and she's going to be the champion older filly and mare. But the other 2 finalists for Horse of the Year are up in the air. I would guess it's going to be either Acclamation and Game on Dude, and then Cape Blanco would be my best guess.
Okay. Hey, but you're right. One of the things we enjoy about this is the kind of the bannering and the discussion and the disagreement. I like this horse, you like that horse, and the most important award you can't do that with.
Yeah, you got a couple of weeks between now and the award show, and you don't even know who the finalists are, so you can't call each other idiots. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, and to kind of close on the Eclipse Awards, you have a couple of special awards that are given out. I know Cott Campbell from Dogwood Stable, very deserved of getting one of these honorary awards in the Breeders for the Eclipse Awards, and the Vox Populi is going to go to Rapid Redux, and we've been saying for the last month or so on the air, although I haven't worked much over the last month, that Rapid Redux deserves something. He deserves some attention, and obviously the public who voted on this feels the same way, that he should be rewarded for his 19 wins in 2011.
Yeah, now the Vox Populi, or whoever you say that, is not affiliated with the Eclipse Awards. The Eclipse Committee did give a special Eclipse Award to Rapid Redux for what he did last year, and I think that's right. That's right. He doesn't belong in any of the championship categories, but what he did was pretty amazing. I can't think of, no matter what level you're racing at, and he's down there pretty low, it's really hard to win 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row. You get up to the teens, and now he's at 22 over the last couple of years. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, real quickly, you've been a little long-winded, to be honest with you, so we're running a little bit behind schedule. You want to talk about Racinos real quickly before we go to break? I mean, I think most people loathe politics. I'm one of those people, and this is the whole Racino deal is sort of politics at its worst, isn't it?
Well, I just say one thing. New York it had the VLTs put in recently. It's been a huge success. They are going to have enormous purses. There's a feeding frenzy at the claiming box right now, and I think the 2-year-old racing program is going to get really good in New York next spring.
Yeah, and Cuomo wants to put forth this new casino. I think, is it in Manhattan? They want to spend $700 million, I think, right?
Well, it's and just looking at how popular
it makes sense.
Has been, yeah, it does make sense. And racing, it'd be nice if racing gets a slice of that. But as always, we worry that they're going to, what they give us, they'll take it away.
Yeah, again, the antipathy towards politics. These Racinos. My dad's been dealing with it, trying to get the Racino at Canterbury Park in Shakopee, Minnesota. We're going to take a break. We're so happy that Ray Paulick is our guest, the first Blinkers Off show of 2012. When we come back, Ray, I read that you haven't done a lot of handicapping of late. We'll see how you do. We'll begin with the Count Fleet Saturday play of the day and so much more.
Tonight, it's opening day at Meadowlands Racetrack. Get psyched for hard-driving thrills from the Big M. First-class harness racing and only on TVG. Kicks off tonight. Meadowlands. First post, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The TVG Saturday Spotlight Race. Join us for the Count Fleet from AQUEDUCT. Brought to you by Distorted Humor, leading 2011 sire. The Saturday Spotlight on TVG. Bet on live horse racing from home. Sign up now at TVG.com or call 1-888-PLAY-TVG. Watch and wager on over 150 tracks worldwide. Experience TVG's original programming and the thrill of live racing 7 days a week, all year round. Bet the action online, by telephone, by mobile phone, or by remote control. Sign up now at TVG.com or call 1-888-PLAY-TVG. TVG.com offers great racing, streaming live with ultimate track video, plus handicapping tools, including expert picks, customized alerts, race replays, and more. You've got to sign up now. Go to TVG.com or call 1-888-PLAY-TVG. Coming Friday, January 13th. Watch and wager. Oaklawn. Oaklawn returns to TVG Friday, January 13th, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. Sign up now and pick your own perk. Sign up for your TVG wagering account and pick between 2 exclusive perks. Get either 3 months free of race replays, wagering services, and ultimate track video, or get a $100 cash bonus. Sign up now at TVG.com or call 1-888-PLAY-TVG. Choose the offer that's right for you. Either 3 months free or a $100 bonus. Join the fun. Sign up at TVG.com or call 1-888-PLAY-TVG.
Welcome back to Blinkers Off. Ray Paulick joining us somewhere in the great state of Florida at his mother's palatial home. The Count Fleet is our spotlight race for Saturday, and Look at the odds right now, 4-5 on Alpha. And Ray, as you well know, exchange wagering is coming to a theater near you very, very soon. And we're trying to prepare some of our viewers familiar, some not so much. And it's all about value with exchange betting. Back certain horses at price, or you play against certain horses, back or lay, as we say. And Alpha at 4-5. First of all, you think this horse deserves to be installed as your 4-5 favorite? Last start, Breeders' Cup Juvenile, I bet him in that race, and he was third to last, 11th, beaten 20 lengths. Yeah,
he was fractious in the gate that day. I hate to take any horse at 4-5. I think he does tower over this field, but 4-5 is awfully tough to take.
Okay.
I'd have to lay there at that.
Okay, so you would lay at 4-5, even money 6-5, and there's your name at 7-5. So at 7-5, this horse becomes fair value for you.
I think so. Yeah. I think again, if you go back to the Champagne, he's a very good horse. He showed a burst of speed that day. Had to go wide. I think he's a good horse. 4-5 is tough to take though.
Okay, and I would lay up to, actually you would lay up to 7-5. 3-2 is fair. I would lay up to 8-5. 9-5 would be fair for me. So obviously you don't like him. If he's your pick at 4-5, and you wouldn't even bet him until he's 8-5, then you don't really like this race, particularly is what you're saying.
Well, it's a funny race. It's had some good winners over the years, but I'm not so sure this is a very good field. And there's a lot of horses that could pop up with a lot of improvement. I just don't have that much confidence in Alpha on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion in this race. I went with the 4, Stefan Otzi, who's coming out of the Remsen. The final time was 1:52. The Damoiselle was the same day for 2-year-old fillies, and it was a second slower in 1:53. But, the pace was really slow in the Remsen. They went 49-4 for the half. As we're taking a look at him break his maiden at Laurel, talking about the 4, Stefan Otzi at the 6-1 morning line in the Count Fleet. So he wins at Laurel, didn't get pace in the Remsen. They went 48-1 for the half in the Damoiselle, 49-4 for the half in the Remsen. So he didn't get the fractions to run at. Speed to the inside in the 1 and the 2, both very quick horses, and Villano in the 2, How Do I Win? I think it's the pace to run at. I think he's the value play. As we move on to the Busanda race 7 in New York. Weather's supposed to be nice in New York for this time of year. It's all relative. Should have a fast main track. I think temperatures around 40 degrees as well. I think yet to have any snowfall in New York, which is very odd. $100,000 event. Sweet 17 still is your favorite. 1 start on dirt. That was a maiden score at Laurel in her debut. And, you don't think that the group's very good in the Count Fleet. This group in the Busanda, I mean, to describe them as mediocre might be kind. I mean, this is not a strong field.
Yeah, I like Bourbon Street Girl in this race. And the reason I do is because she had so much trouble in Damoiselle. And Ramon Dominguez pushed her outside on the turn. He got set down for a week, but the winner of that race that he was on didn't get disqualified, which is kind of one of those weird calls. But I like Bourbon Street Girl. She's been training really well for Gary Contessa.
Okay, all right, yeah. Disposable Pleasure was your 6-5 favorite for Todd Pletcher in the Damoiselle that we're looking at right now. I'm going to go with another runner who also had a bad trip in the Damoiselle, although you're getting a better price. You're getting 7-2 morning line on Bourbon Street Girl. I'm only going to get 2-1. At least that's the morning line on Captivating Lass, the 5. The blinkers come on for Kieran McLaughlin, and a runner that was training slowly in the morning. And then I see out of a race, I see an equipment change, and I see some really fast workouts, improved workouts in the morning, tells me that she's responded to the blinkers going on in the morning. And I see a 47-4, fast as a 41, 4-furlong drill. I like that. Obviously, room to improve. Only the 3rd start of her career. I'll go with Captivating Last, 2-1, second choice morning line in the Busanda. Turfway preview, 6.5 furlongs at Turfway Park. So you know it's a big field. Field of a dozen set to go in this race. And Mike Maker has a couple in here. The 7 Magical Season at 6-1, and the 9 Mr. Prankster at 5-1. Do you like the Maker horses in this race, or one in particular?
I like Magical Season here.
Oh, we agree.
Yeah, we do. I thought you might like this horse. Yeah, I like the race at Laurel on the turf. Getting back on a poly track might help the horse a little bit. I'm not wild about it, but I think this is the obvious horse for me.
Yeah, the second time blinker situation, horse that, routed on the turf in his last start, as you mentioned. Lemon Juice, is a decent runner that beat him 2 races in a row back at Colonial, and then did it at Laurel on the 8th of October. A Dane Kabisky horse who was a pretty heavy favorite in that race. You can see the third place finisher, Just Say, who had some tactical speed, was the next out winner from that race. Another horse that's training well, and another race in which there appears to be a fair amount of pace to set up for a horse that's cutting back in distance, which is the case with Magical Season, cutting back from a mile to 6.5 furlongs. We have plenty. We have all day in TV time here. We have 2 minutes to go in the show. Do you have a play of the day for Saturday?
Well, yeah, I looked. This is a
good.
track I don't play very often, but I looked at Parks Racing, and there's a horse named Obligated, a 5-year-old mare by Smart Strike that just made its first start in November at Laurel, won pretty convincingly. This is not an overpowering group of entry-level allowance horses, and I think Graham Motion has got this one nicely spotted. I'm a little concerned about the workout pattern. Maybe they missed a workout somewhere in December after she won. But obviously there's some talent here. It's a Smart Strike. Joe Shields is the owner and breeder. Foil was a nice mare. And, you know, a 5-year-old mare that's only had one start, you got to be a little worried about. There's obviously some physical conditions, but that's my play of the day.
Foil was a nice mare, and I got a really nice foil, by the way, on Tuesday. I believe Massa did great work. I want to give the last 45 seconds or so to you, so I'll be real quick. Race number 6 at Aqueduct, I think it's the best betting race in the card for Saturday. Troponin dropping basically ease in his last start, can set up the pace, and Jackie Davis riding very well at 8-1. All right, 50 seconds left in the show. First of all, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. And once again, Paulick Report, how do I get there? What do I do, and what do I look forward to when I get there?
PaulickReport.com, P-A-U-L-I-C-K, report.com. You'll get the latest racing information from around the world. You'll get the scuttlebutt on who's been suspended, who's been fined, who's got the bad tests. We have all, just really anything you want to know about horse racing. And we are adding new features all the time. We've been around for 3.5 years. Love our readers, love our advertisers, and we're just going to keep growing.
You always say kind things about 58 Flat, so I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming on, Ray Paulick. We'll do it again next time January 13th.
Introducing the new Dual Saw CS450, the ultimate cutting machine. The Dual Saw CS450's patented counter-rotating blade technology allows you to cut through virtually anything with just one tool. This unique technology drives the two blades in opposite directions, creating a scissor-like effect, dramatically reducing kickback, sparks, and vibrations for perfectly clean cuts every time. The lightweight and portable Dual Saw is so powerful it cuts this cast iron pan, yet so precise that it can slice a tomato. Use it to save money and do it yourself. Drop a sink into a bathroom or kitchen quick and easy. It's the portable powerhouse that fits into the palm of your hand. Whether you're a seasoned contractor or a first-time user, nothing compares to the Dual Saw CS450. It's the ultimate combination of precision engineering and blade technology. The new Dual Saw makes all kinds of jobs easier. No drilling pilot holes. No more torn-up surfaces. You could spend hundreds on different tools to get the job done, or you can get it all done with the new Dual Saw CS450. Look how Dual Saw cuts plexiglass, painted steel, copper, soft wood, PVC piping, and hardwood flooring. The Dual Saw cuts backwards and forwards with no bite and no kick. It's so easy to use. The sleek Dual